Hello, investors. It's Don Vandenbord, Senior Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Thursday, July 13th, 5:08 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you from St. Augustine Beach, Florida, with tonight's Revere Market Insight video. State of the market, we remain in an uptrend. You can see the green arrows over here. Market leaders acting just fine. In fact, doing their job, which is leading. And in order for that setup, you got to have cooperation of the indexes. And we have that also. All five of the major indexes trending above their short-term 21-day moving average, medium-term 50-day moving average, long-term 200-day moving average. We remain extended on the NASDAQ 100. It got more extended today, but strong day by the big seven tech stocks. So what happened today? All I had to do was change one letter from yesterday's headline to make today's headline. Yesterday it was rally continues on a cool CPI report. This morning before the open, the PPI report. This is the producer price index, or a reflection of wholesale uh, activity, and it was below average also. So if producers aren't facing inflation, they don't have to pass it on to consumers. That was confirmed by yesterday's consumer report, and the bottom line is the market liked it, and you can see by the green close, uh, that's the trend that we saw all day long. So gap up, and for most of the indexes, the exception being the Dow, that gave up a little bit during the day, but leaders really cranking. RG8, this is our 8 growth ETF composite, up 1.4%, led by ARK-K, which was led by Coin, which was up 24%, as a judge ruled that Ripple, they were being sued, and Ripple was paused on a bunch of the crypto exchanges worldwide uh, for selling an unlicensed security. Well, the court ruled that XRP isn't a security, so you can't be selling unlicensed securities if it's not a security. But anyway, that lit the whole crypto world on fire, including stocks that are tied to that genre, and we'll review those when we get to the tail of the tape in the chart section. S&P 500 gapped up 0.45, closed just off the highs of the days, up 0.85. NASDAQ 100, great day, up 1.7%. All seven of the big seven up strongly. The worst, well, not strongly, Apple up 0.4, but the leaders were Google up 4.72 and Nvidia up 4.73. Dow, the laggard, up 0.14, mid caps up 0.6, Russell 2000 small caps up 0.9, Global 6040 up 0.94. Bond prices rallying again, meaning rates are dropping, and foreign stocks and emerging markets having another good day because the dollar was down. That makes goods cheaper overseas. So nice return for 60/40 investors here. In-house GROTECTION up 1.6%. This is what a bull market feels like when you focus in leading stocks and you have index cooperation. A nice week going on. We're cognizant of the gains that we have, and we've got a plan for doing a combination of offensive selling and defensive selling to protect those gains. But really, we're trying to be in sitting mode. That's where the big money is made during a bull market, so we don't want to overreact to every little wiggle. Let's get right into the report. We'll start off with the S&P 500. You can see yesterday we broke above that 4-week base. This morning, another gap up and follow through to the upside. So, and we would expect now with 2 days on that, any pullback to this area around 44.60 should hold. So that's not much more than a percent. We are getting a bit extended again on the S&P 500, up 5.5% on the 50-day. Anything over 6% is considered very extended. Speaking of very extended, the NASDAQ 100 cleared the base yesterday. or actually closed right at the top of the base yesterday, cleared it intraday, but made no doubt about it today, up 1.7%, 8.4% above the 50-day moving average. The most extended we've gotten this year was around 12% with the gap up that we had on 616 before the reversal and this most recent pullback before we launched higher after that pause that refreshed the indexes. Let's go to the NASDAQ. Or I'm sorry, the Dow Jones Industrial Average still hasn't broken out. You can see the relative weakness continuing. This is just being dragged down by some weakness in a few high price stocks that sit at the top of the index because the Dow is a price weighted index, not a market cap weighted index, the way the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 are. Let's go to mid caps. Here's MDY, the mid cap ETF. Another good day. You can see it extending its breakout above this nice cup and handle. And IWM small caps, also a good day, extending its gain above this cup and handle. So now with confirmation on the follow through, we would expect any pullback to hold the pivot, which is 189.24. If it doesn't, we'll get mildly concerned, but it also depends on the action of the individual leading stocks. Let's go to the VIX very quickly. Late in the day, the VIX was red most of the day, which you would expect with the market being up, but I think we're just getting a little bit so extended that people are uh, starting to maybe hedge a little bit, and the VIX went positive by the end of the day, up 0.5%, but below this 21-day moving average. That's the green line, which has now rolled over again. And that's how we want to see it. Note the VIX hasn't made lower lows while the indexes have made higher highs on this most recent rally. Let's go to the dollar. This is really part of the big story. Two gaps up on the indexes, two gaps down on the dollar. We're at the bottom of this most recent range now, around this 27.50 area. Ignore this day, that was a bad print, but you can see how we held around this 2750 area back in March, April, and into May. That's where we are again. The recent lows were at the end of February, which is when coincidentally the market peaked prior to this most recent run at the end of February. So getting stretched to the downside on the dollar here with 6 straight down days. Let's go over to, well, with the dollar, first of all, let's see how this translated into the inverse precious metals play. Gold kind of disappointing, barely up today, 0.07%. Looks like this declining 50-day moving average is stopping it from proceeding. We'll see what tomorrow brings. It didn't stop silver, that's for sure. Silver up 2.84%, following through to the upside after busting through the 50-day moving average yesterday, and gold stocks another higher high above the 50-day moving average, up 1.16%. We own NUGT, small position in NUGT, taking advantage in this change of character when gold stocks broke above the declining 21-day moving average. Let's flip over to bonds now. Bond prices up across the board today. Second gap up in bond prices, marking the second gap up in the indexes, up 0.61% for the broad BND index. The long-term TLT up 1.05%. The 30-year, which is just the the yield on the 30-year, complete opposite of the TLT, down big for the second straight day, down 1.42%, and the 10-year TYX, sorry, the 10-year is the TNX, and it's down 2.6%. Two big down days. Very clear that this breakout in yields has failed now, which we identified on last night's tail of the tape. Now for Bitcoin. Uh, let's look at a 5-minute chart here, and you can see this Bitcoin broke out at 11:30 this morning. This is when that court case came down about Ripple, and you can just see it making higher highs and higher lows all day. The definition of an uptrend. Good day for Bitcoin, up 5%. and we'll take a look at some of the related stocks when we get to the tail of the tape. But this very clearly broke out of this week and a half consolidation. Now it's setting eyes on the top of this handle, that in this cup and handle formation around 1770, about 4% below that. Note the volume also in BITO, that of course carried over to Bitcoin too, which is above 31,000. Let's get to the tail of the tape now. You can pause it here. I'll hit the highlights. As I said, PPI confirms the CPI inflation trend. We are hold on one second. Uh, Continuing to trend. It's 4 days up, so it's 4 days above the 80 EMA now. 34 days above the 21 EMA. Let me scroll back quickly to confirm that. I may be off by a day. I might have updated this already. I did update it already, so it's 3 and 33. Sorry about that. But hey, 29-day rally, fourth straight up day in the indexes. Let's take a look at sectors. So yesterday was a tough sector for cyber and cloud-related stocks. They bounced back today. One of the leading sectors, there's Bitcoin and the related ones, banks up. XLI and XLV were two laggards in the S&P today, just barely positive. The only one of the 11 spider sectors that was down was energy, as ExxonMobil bought Denbury. So usually the acquirer has a rough day. It did today, down 1.8%. That helped to drag down XLE, as it's a big component for that. Retail and airlines. DAL reported good earnings and raised guidance, but appeared to be baked in, as it had a negative reversal after its gap up. So we're going to hit some highlights from the portfolio and this focus list here, and then we'll also hit the crypto related names. But the bottom line for the day, PPI report confirms CPI running of the bulls continues. No changes to the portfolio. We're just assimilating new clients into the model at some low risk entries of existing positions. So let's go through the Bitcoin complex first of all. So you can see BITO up 5%, Coinbase, the star of the show today, up 24.5%. Big breakout, big volume. A couple other stocks related to it. One ETF that a follower brought to our attention. WGMI, a big day, up 14%. This is all crypto miners in here, and a great looking chart that is. Trades a little thin, but the components are right if this is the pond you want to fish in. Also, Riot up 15%. Look at the 5 straight up days on all these, on bigger volume too. Very clear breakout in this part of the investing world. What else was up today? We did coin Mara up 14.5. This is the other main stock that's tied to Bitcoin, up 14.5%. Master MSTR, MicroStrategy, up 11.7%. Of course, if you listen to us, you're aware of the massive amount of Bitcoin they hold on their balance sheet. And we already showed BITO what that was up 5%. So that's the Bitcoin complex. Let's go through a couple of others. DAL initially gapped up, reversed. So these airline stocks have made a fantastic run. You saw a similar pattern with all these today. They just need a little bit of cooling off. The earnings certainly up 86%, sales up 13%. PE of 8, and very nice earnings growth this year and next year on Delta. Next up, ON, former leader, got smacked on its last earnings report, broke out of a cup and handle, but fell back below the pivot point by the close today, but still up about 3%, a month away from their next earnings report. TOST, payment processor, following through on its breakout yesterday, and with higher volume, up 4.6%. Very nice breakout there. TTD being added to the S&P 500, or is it the NASDAQ 100? No, it's the NASDAQ 100. Big move up, but reversed a bit, still up 3% on the day. You can see 3 nice days there, just got a little bit too extended. Shopify, and this is typical of the transition that we've seen in the market. Shopify tried several times to break out over the past couple of months, but with the changing character in the market this week, you can see it was finally able to succeed, up 6.7% today, finally breaking out of a base. And let's flip to uh, the cyber space today. We know it had a bad day yesterday, but regained it today, up 2% on CIBR, the ETF. Let's check some of the components that were down yesterday on that report that Microsoft was entering, challenging some of these companies. Net reclaiming most of the loss, up 5.3%. Palo Alto, the leader, had a bad day yesterday, back up 2.74%. But I want to point something out. The 21-day moving average has rolled over. That's where it failed today. That's where that provided resistance on the upside. If it can't get back up through the 21, it may need to form a base before it can resume the power that it showed after its prior base breakout. How about to some good behavior from the portfolio today? We're going to start off with NVIDIA. Closed yesterday at 440, all the way up after over 460 now after hours. Breakout from this little 3 to 4 week base. Uh, just an absolute powerhouse in the market. Tesla was weak early, uh, went pretty good as the day went along. Outside negative reversal briefly below the ADMA, closed above yesterday's high, up 2.2%. A new position that we took at the close yesterday, Unity, didn't get to pyramid into it this morning because it moved so quickly, up 7.21%. Nice breakout there. Uber having a nice breakout also after an undercut just 3 days ago below the 21, making higher highs now, up 2.5%. SMCI, a leader, a very volatile one though, but it's nicely observing this 8 EMA, the purple line, gapped up today, made new closing highs, up 6.3% on the day. Let's see, Live Nation up 1.5%. Nice tight action over the last 5 sessions there. DT had a nice run down day yesterday, trying to reclaim that 55 area, closed just shy of it, up 1.5%. Nail, which we're in, taking advantage of the home builders. We took some profits in this yesterday. It's extending its gain today with the piece that we have left, up 2.4% on the day. On the downside, we had Celsius. This initially broke out, was up near 155, and then a report hit the headlines this morning that the former Celsius CEO was being charged with fraud, and Celsius was going to pay a bunch of money to settle something. Well, it was the Celsius crypto company, not Celsius Holdings. But even after that was clarified, Celsius didn't resume its uptrend. So a failed breakout for Celsius again above this 150 level. Just can't seem to get above it and stay above it for now. So failed breakout below the breakdown below the 21 2 days ago. Failed breakout today. It's a volatile one, and threatens to break out, but just can't follow through on it. The only other thing that we own that was down on the day, NRGU. This is the big 10 energy companies, up most of the day, pulled back, then barely down on the day. But you can see this has broken out above this 360 level, and that was support on the day, 360.84, the low on the day. And that is going to wrap it. As always, love to hear from you. You can reach me, Don at RevereAsset.com, or my partner, Dan Stewart, Dan at RevereAsset.com, or the phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH. That's 855-732-5932. Remember, it's not how much you make in the market, it's how much of that you can keep. We're cognizant of the gains that we've been able to rack up over the past 6 weeks. We've got a plan for exiting every position every day, either offensively or defensively. If you're interested in this approach where you protect capital in risky markets and grow capital in strong markets, nice sleep at night factor. That's what we hear from our clients all the time, knowing that their downside is protected. By all means, reach out to us because, again, it's not how much you make in the markets, it's how much of that you can keep. And with that, I'll wrap up the Thursday, July 13th edition. This is Don Vandenbord with Revere Asset, telling it like it is. Thanks for listening and have a great day.